7. Final buddy, greetings.
Echo Station 3TA.
Hello there, welcome back to Echo Base Network. I'm the coach, and I'm glad that you've joined us today. Even though you just clicked on our video, I can already tell
The Force is strong with you.
Before we dive into today's news update, please be sure to hit the subscribe button, as our analytics indicate that 2 out of every 3 viewers are not subscribed to the channel, and we would love to have you here at Echo Base Network. Our first bit of Star Wars news that we want to cover is on the upcoming Kenobi series. Actor Jimmy Smits is officially returning as Bail Organa. Most of us assumed, and we were even hopeful, that this would happen. Jimmy Smits has played Bail Organa in Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. Bail is a key character to not only the Skywalkers, but to the Rebellion itself, and an integral character for the saga on the whole, making Star Wars sources observe Smits on set for the Kenobi series filming with Ewan McGregor. The filming was so secretive it wasn't immediately clear if he was even in the series for a time. It is also why he's been left off the cast list. So it is happening and the confirmations are coming from all over. Bail's back. We recently covered the rumor that a new Star Wars trilogy is in development and that it will have a post-sequel trilogy setting. If true, this doesn't confirm that Rey, Finn, and Poe will be returning, as it could take place much later than their story. Joanna Robinson is the journalist who broke the rumor, and she went on to discuss what she had heard the story will be about, and its Jedi dogma. Speaking on the Ringerverse podcast, Robinson said she thinks the post-sequel films will specifically address the former failures of the Jedi Order and their dogmatic approach, and we'll see a revamped Jedi Order. This rumor also suggests that the Jedi might finally ditch one of the most annoying rules ever, to serve as a Jedi with no attachments. We will continue to report what we hear on this situation. Another rumor about an upcoming Star Wars production, an unnamed Disney Plus streaming show, has reportedly began casting actors. We've learned that this show will be set in the High Republic and could begin filming as soon as June of this year. According to thedirect.com, the High Republic has yet to be explored in any visual medium, having been introduced as a literary first venture. But it seems to be only a matter of time before the new era of Lucasian lore makes its way onto the big screen and small screen, which is confirmed further thanks to this new information about the show's cast. In celebration of Valentine's Day, StarWars.com announced that Beth Revis, author of Star Wars Rebel Rising, would be returning to a galaxy far, far away. She is writing The Princess and the Scoundrel, which will tell the story of Han Solo and Princess Leia's wedding, and she's been working on it for quite some time, saying, "I wanted this to be a story where the past was still present, but they were moving forward into new territory," Revis said. "It's an emotional journey. The aftermath of war always is, but so is the newfoundling steps of love." Han and Leia's love story after Return of the Jedi was previously told in The Courtship of Princess Leia, a Star Wars Legends novel that involved accidentally inheriting planets, possessive princess, jealousy, and rancors. Canon technically hasn't overridden any of that story extensively until now. Toy fans, we have something for you. Maybe. The terrifying Wookiee Black Chrysanthemum is now joining the Star Wars Black series. While that is very exciting news because most toy collectors would love a BK action figure, there is also some major criticism concerning the toy. BleedingCool.com has reported that the upcoming Black Chrysanthemum figure is literally a repainted Chewbacca body and a newly sculpted head. His bulky design was skipped over for some reason, even though it is shown on the packaging, making this figure's faults stand out even more. This once deadly Dr. Aphra crew member is sadly ruined by Hasbro's rush to give collectors a figure for this new fan favorite character. Hasbro's Star Wars team is all about repaints and releases, and it shows. Pre-orders for this figure are set to go up for pre-order at fan channel retailers like Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth. He is set at a $28 price tag, and as usual, he is not expected to release until spring 2023, so hopefully this gives Hasbro plenty of time to fix this massive character design error. In our final news story today, many people have continued to discuss an alternate timeline in Star Wars, in the world between worlds seen in Star Wars Rebels. That is the focus of our newest segment, Lore and Legends.
All wings report in.
Red leader standing by.
Gray leader standing by.
Green leader standing by.
Lock S files and attack positions.
I've been thinking a lot about the alternate timeline theory lately, in the world between worlds and everything. Many of you already know the following story, but I feel as if I need to state it again for context and a major reveal at the end. So many fans are still hung up on this theory, and after all, who can blame you? I've done videos about the world between worlds and the possibility of an alternate timeline taking place. We've talked about the erasure or retcon of the sequel trilogy as well. I've been a major proponent of it happening. Recently, when watching an episode of the Book of Boba Fett, specifically the scene where Grogu is given his choice by Luke Skywalker, the lightsaber or the armor. As I watched this scene unfold, I essentially looked on in horror, thinking to myself, if Grogu chooses the armor, then it appears that we are headed straight to the sequel trilogy timeline of events. Now I know many of you haven't even considered anything else a possibility, and more for you in just a moment. But as I watched this scene, I was actually irritated, nearly to the point of anger. Chapter 6 of the Book of Boba Fett was an excellent episode, and the fact that I was sitting there dwelling about episodes 7, 8, and 9 completely took me out of it. The next day, I was still thinking about it. It was at this point that I decided I was never going to allow the sequel trilogy to hang over my head like a dark cloud and keep me from enjoying any good Star Wars moving forward. When I developed this mindset, my opinion shifted as I began to look a little more logically at the situation, as I have been pretty emotional over this. There is nearly zero evidence to suggest that the sequel trilogy is not going to be the story that happens later with the Mandoverse. Sure, many hopeful people are talking about what makes financial sense, and they desperately want to see it happen, and like I did before, get very emotional over it. I did a couple videos recently that covered Kristen Baver's blog on StarWars.com, you know, the one where she said that the temple we see in the Book of Boba Fett Chapter 6 will be the same place that we see in the Last Jedi flashback scene to Luke's Academy. We also covered Baver's 2021 novel Skywalker, A Family at War, and how it is a complete story of Anakin Skywalker to Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia, to Ben Solo and to Rey Skywalker. Even according to Baver's novel, which is official Disney canon, there is no alternate timeline where the sequels aren't going to happen. Now, why am I saying all of this again today? Here's why. After going back to 2018 and looking at an interview between Cinema Blend and Dave Filoni, there is some greater evidence on the table. Dave Filoni sat down with Cinema Blend in an interview immediately following the Rebels World Between Worlds episode, and that was the basis of their conversation. According to Cinema Blend, the World Between Worlds was a new power that raised questions about if and how the Force pathways could affect other Star Wars properties. Rebel showrunner Dave Filoni then told Cinema Blend that he doesn't really want it to become a standard Star Wars trope, saying, "No, I hope not. I mean, because this is important for this particular story, and I think we'd have to be very careful about how it would be used otherwise. It's why we destroy the temple in the episode. It's mainly a place that people would go to see the future and the past. It's not such an active place, and Ahsoka, for her part when she's pulled out of that moment, is placed back into the same timeline and not very long after she left it. So again, she's smart enough to know that she cannot go back with Ezra. So there is not this big time travel thing. She knows she has to remain a part of her world and her timeline." Cinema Blend went on to say after Filoni's comments, "I'm sure many will agree with Dave Filoni in not wanting this to become a retcon mulligan for other movies, so don't expect to see Luke's fate at the end of The Last Jedi undone. For instance, that's one of the main reasons why Star Wars Rebels destroyed the Jedi Temple after the rescue." Filoni wasn't finished talking about the World Between Worlds though. He explained that the ability to save Ahsoka wasn't even technically time travel in the traditional sense, saying, "I don't really think of it as time travel. It's not really a thing where you go through one door and out another in a different time. The World Between Worlds is really about knowledge and gaining knowledge. As the Doom Wolf says, what's in there is knowledge and destruction. You can gain knowledge of the future and futures that may happen, and you can see things that happened in the past. You can at times choose to alter them, but it's perilous to do so, and when you alter something, you don't know if that's the way it always happened. So destruction is the other half of what's in there. When you go through these doorways, you're in peril of destruction because you're missing all sorts of things that would have happened or things would have happened otherwise. You know, so it's a dangerous game, but it's not something we're here going in and out of different doors. It's an extension of the Jedi's ability to perceive the future and the past as described in The Empire Strikes Back." During the same time on the Star Wars show, Rebels recon inside Wolves and a Door and A World Between Worlds. Filoni and others spoke more openly about this topic.
I always have several small goals. One of the things I wanted to do was find a way to tie together all of the Star Wars films and animated series in one place so that people get this idea that this is all a connected thing, that they're not desperate from each other, that they are inclusive of each other.
Dave Filoni just said that one of his goals was to tie together all of Star Wars films and animated series in one place. So we get the idea that they are all connected and to not be separated. One major part of the alternate reality fan theory is that in one timeline Ahsoka died, and in another she lived. Even though fans saw Ahsoka walking into a temple after fighting Darth Vader in the Season 2 finale, the theory is that this is the Ahsoka that we will get in Season 4's World Between Worlds episode, where she is entering the temple.
Just really liked this idea of giving fans the completion of that battle and seeing that moment again from a different point of view. The fun thing for me was that I could tell this whole story about her and meeting Ezra and what's going on, and then end precisely where I ended before in Season 2. So you're not really farther ahead than you were with her, but you learned a bit of the story that you didn't know existed. So now you know that she really is descending that staircase in the triangle doorway, because you see the triangle doorway behind her, and everything is set up for her to hook up with that moment.
Filoni just said that it was the same moment, just from a different point of view. Then he says he ended the episode precisely where he ended it with Ahsoka like before in Season 2. I want to explain to all of our people here at Echo Base Network that if you believe the alternate dimension is coming and that the story we are getting from Filoni and Favreau is not going to lead to the sequels, that's great for you, and I hope you get what you are wanting. I have wanted to see the same thing for years now, and now I'm at the point where I'm resigned to that fact. I don't see it happening, and I believe that everything mentioned here in this video is more evidence to support it not happening. Dave Filoni pretty much point blank said in 2018 that the World Between Worlds would not be used in such a way, and all of this confirms it. It doesn't mean that we can't enjoy Star Wars in the meantime. It doesn't mean that you need to leave the franchise and be done with it. I will continue to watch and praise what I enjoy and critique what I don't, and that's something we can all do together, while we never forget all of the Star Wars from the past that we love, and it is a major part of us. Hope that you guys enjoyed today's episode. Thank you so much for coming to Echo Base Network. We will continue to get content out, and we invite you to our live Saturday night Star Wars show. As always, we are Echo Base Network. May the Force be with you, and I'll see you guys on the next one.